I could sit here, maybe holding your attention, maybe not, and read a speech as the person who I was introduced as. Doing so would be safe. I could finish out this year without worrying about a change in the way people treat me. While I wouldn't expect much to change, I've learned to hope for the best and plan for the worst. But I'm not going to take the easy route. Doing so would be a disservice to myself because I'm not the person who I was introduced as. My name isn't Paul, it's Kezia, and I'm a transgender girl. To say that my self discovery was easy would be to lie, because it most certainly was not, but I was fortunate. My family, thankfully, was accepting and open to me exploring my own identity, and so were my friends. They put up with me as I jumped between names about 4 times before finally settling on Keziah. My family, in particular, put up with my nonsense as I spent probably way too much money on replacing most of my clothes. My friends welcomed my new self into the group with open arms, and for this I'm forever grateful. Of course, the universe survives on give and take, so where I was fortunate enough to have supportive friends and family, I lost in my own nature. Being quite shy, I had trouble reaching out for help. An ever present fear of rejection kept me from taking that first step out of the closet for months, and as such, I spent the majority of my initial self discovery alone in my head. As fun as that sounds, I assure you it's not. I had no guide, no one to hold my hand and walk me through how I was supposed to explore the potential that my gender identity didn't align with who I was raised and socialized as. As I scrambled to figure out who I really was, I dove headlong into researching what it really meant to be trans. This research introduced me to the concepts of gender dysphoria and, more importantly, gender euphoria. Gender euphoria is, or no, Gender dysphoria is the unease created by the disconnect between a person's gender identity and their assigned sex. This is what is generally used clinically to determine if someone is trans. Gender euphoria, on the other hand, is the opposite. It is the comfort derived from being in alignment with your gender identity. For me, at least, this is found in being gendered correctly and dressing in gender affirming clothing. In the trans community, this is generally regarded as a better indication of someone being trans because not every trans person is dysphoric. In a clinical sense, I'm lucky as I am a dysphoric trans person. This has made the entire medical process a bit easier as I could fit into the boxes that were given to me to prove that I really am trans. For fairly obvious reasons, though, being a dysphoric trans person is less than pleasant. At least for now, I'm locked in a bitter rivalry with my own reflection, as seeing my own image offers the chance to see every part of myself that has developed in a less than affirming way, such as my shoulder width, my jaw, my larynx, or a number of other things I could spend way too much time listing. At its worst, I've been reduced to crying on the floor when I dared to look in the mirror. My voice also gives me trouble, and no amount of hormone therapy is going to fix that. It's already dropped, and training it to go back up is going to be a long process that I frankly have just not had the energy to start. But it's not all doom and gloom, because while it's been a slow burn getting there, I can now get euphoric rushes, and those are nice. Most of the most of the people I interact with regularly know my preferred name and pronouns, and fortunately for me, are accepting and actually use them. I've also become more bold in the almost blessing in disguise distance learning has been because while I've definitely been feeling the burnout, I've also been able to wear more feminine clothing on camera. Crossing that threshold initially was terrifying, but the euphoria made it all worth it. Given the topic, it seems appropriate that I basically wrote all of this on the Trans Day of Visibility, but that's not so much symbolic and more me procrastinating until the very last minute to write this. Since my initial realization and acceptance of my identity, I've grown into who I am now. It wasn't easy, and at times it felt insurmountable, but I've survived. I've now been out to those close for me for almost 2 years now, and for all the pain, hardships, and wariness being trans has brought me, I wouldn't take it back for the world. Thank you.